certainly great to welcome you back to the show here on Get Connected. I'm your host, Conn Jackson, and behind me is Yoga Master Jason doing an awesome pose. It's just beautiful to look at all the serenity that's around us, particularly the river. So many lessons in life. Where the water wants to go or where the flow takes us sometimes in life, we actually want to go in a different direction. How do we break habits? Well, there's no better book out to help us than by Charles called The Power of Habit and how we can break it. Charles, welcome to the show. And first and foremost, doesn't the river have a great analogy about breaking a habit?
You know, it's really interesting that you mention water because about 100 years ago when people would write about habits, they would use the analogy of water, and they would say that a habit is like a drop of water that cuts a channel through your brain. And once it cuts that channel, it's much easier for all of your actions to follow that path of behavior. But just like you can set up dams and you can redirect water, you can sort of shape it one way or the other by placing logs very cleverly. You can also reshape behaviors by choosing cues and rewards really cleverly.
Well, Charles, that's great insight. Now, another chapter in the book is devoted to Michael Phelps and the work you did with him. Tell us about his habits and success.
Michael Phelps is a fascinating example of the power of habit because if you talk to him or his coach, what they'll tell you is that everything that they do to make Michael successful is all about building the right habits. Swimming is obviously a physical sport, but the reason why people win by milliseconds is because they win the mental game. They have the right mental habits. What Michael Phelps does is that every single race day, he goes through the exact same routines every single day. And in fact, almost every other day, he uses the exact same routines. What he's trying to do is create this sense of mounting victory, what are known as the science of small wins. So he always has the breakfast he anticipates to have, and that works exactly like he expects. And then he does all of his warm-ups exactly like he expects. He listens to a tape mix that's exactly the music he expects to listen to. Everything happens according to plan because it's all habits on the day of the race. So by the time he gets in the pool and sets a world record, it's not this huge victory, it's just one more small victory in a day and a life full of victories because he's built habits to help him expect that he'll be victorious at every single step.
Victorious indeed, like 18 gold medals, 22 overall, but I liked how you broke down, goals into small attainable steps. That was very insightful for me. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot as it relates to a personal relationship. What habit has this book helped you break that's made that stronger?
Well, I think, and I'm probably not alone in this. I have a tendency sometimes to habitually blame other people for my problems. Like, for instance, if I get frustrated at home, I would habitually look for reasons why it's really my wife's fault. It's not my fault that I locked myself out of the house. It's my wife's fault for, not putting my keys exactly where I need them, so when I'm walking out, I would grab them. And I've really tried to work on that habit, to work on getting better at sort of spending quality time with her and to make sure that I have the habits that let me appreciate who she is. I don't know if you have kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And one of the hardest parts of having young kids is getting in the mental place where when you're spending time with them, you actually appreciate the time that you're with them rather than thinking about all the stuff you have to do. That's a habit, right? Getting into the habit of enjoying, of really focusing, of being in the moment, that's a habit you have to work on. But once you figure out how to recognize those cues and rewards, you can change your life. And I have to say, I think I've not only become a better father, but I think I enjoy being a father so much more by working on those habits.
Well, thank you for giving us a personal antidote. I think that's something we can all do better, be in the moment. I think I need to work on my lateness. But let's turn, throughout the book, you talk about the golden rule of a habit. Share that with us.
Absolutely. The golden rule of habit change says that basically what you need to do is diagnose those cues and rewards and then find something that delivers the same reward but as a new behavior. So the thing to do today is that when you find yourself doing some habit that you don't like, ask yourself, what reward is this really giving me? Chances are that it's probably something pretty easy to see. For instance, a relief from tension, like we mentioned before. That's actually the most powerful reward, is relieving tension in someone's life. Whether it be, biting your nails, it's a momentary relief of tension, or whether it be sort of thinking about letting yourself daydream because it relieves the boredom of work. If you figure out what that reward is, you're on the path to changing the behavior, because the golden rule is you can find another behavior that delivers that same reward but is healthier and better for you.
I'm pretty sure I speak on behalf of most of our viewers. Healthier and happier is indeed something we would all love to have. Now, as we begin to wrap things up here on the river with you, Charles, the book is really insightful, but one particular person you talked to, Super Bowl champ coach Tony Dungy, I have a lot of respect for him. We've talked to him. What would he say to us about habits?
Tony Dungy would tell you that the thing you need to do is you need to believe in the possibility of change. That the key to changing a habit is not only diagnosing it, but actually believing you can change. And the way you believe is you talk to other people who also believe, and you learn a habit of belief.
I really love those insights from Tony. I need to surround myself with the right kind of people and get a great belief structure. You know, next time though, Charles, I let you off the hook. Next time you're going to be in the river with me when we do this interview. Thanks so much for joining us.
Take care.